Welcome to today's episode of You've Got a Thing, an internet thing about Milwaukee theater things. I'm Jill Anna Ponasik. I'm the artistic director of Milwaukee Opera Theater, and
I'm Carol Zippel, and I'm the artistic director of Windfall Theater. I'm very happy to be with you today.
Oh, I am so excited to talk with you. I feel like we have never had a chance to just sit down person to person and have an actual several sentences together conversation. I think we've just passed each other in lobbies and such. So It's so nice to be able to sit with you this morning. I'm such a big fan, and I can't wait to hear about your thing. What do we need to know?
Well, our current thing is a production of Hope and Gravity by Michael Hollinger. And we are at a new location for that. For the past 27 seasons, we had been at Village Church on the corner of Juneau and Edison, and a nice little kind of space. And when the pandemic hit, etc., shut everything down, that space has also experienced basement flood, roof leaking. So they are doing a lot of renovation. And when we thought of reemerging, we had to find a new space. So we happened to be at another church. And this particular church has a kind of big auditorium with a proscenium stage. It's a little bit, the pastor described it as shabby chic because it does need some renovation itself. And they're actually working on sort of demolishing the whole thing and rebuilding the space as a big event hall, which could be very nice. But right now we're in there, and it allows us have a really nice socially distanced area and seating that's appropriate for the current COVID pandemic situation. So we have 2 performances left this evening at 7:30 and tomorrow night at 7:30. And we are requesting masks and showing your COVID ID. It's just a beautiful, it's been a beautiful script for this time that we're in because of the way it's constructed. It's about, just roughly, without giving too much away, an elevator falls in a big building in a city in America, and the lives of quite a few people are impacted by this. And I just love the way, this is the 3rd play we've done by Michael Hollinger. And the first one was Empty Plate in the Café de Grand Boeuf. And the second one was Red Herring, which Next Act happens to be doing in November. And his writing is just lovely. And because he's a musician as well, he is very attentive to the music of words and the music of how he creates this with pauses and different things that
I was just going to say, I wonder
scores his script.
Yeah, I wonder if that expresses itself in tempo or the way that time is manipulated throughout the piece. Do you have tickets left? Because Windfall things, they sell out.
Well, we do have tickets left. And you can either, we are on Eventbrite, so you can purchase tickets on Eventbrite. Otherwise, come to the door, and we have cash or check you can pay for a ticket. It's been, we are only seating 25 people for this particular production. And so we can keep that kind of socially distanced meeting. And it would be lovely if we could fill that 25 seats up. We've been doing pretty well. I think people have been happy to, we've had really enthusiastic audiences, even though they've been petite.
Yes.
And so that's been gratifying, and they've really enjoyed the show and commented on the play, and how it's kind of, it's got a lot of humor in it, but it's also very, very poignant, and it is constructed in a very interesting way so that things bounce back and forth on each other. So
Oh, beautiful. I've been wondering about, I can see in your body language just how you light up, when you talk about, or when you think back to rehearsals or preparation, and like being back in that environment with your artists, and now being able to share it in real life with human beings in the audience. Can you talk a little bit about your journey back, things that you've noticed, the way that the play maybe worked in the lives of the actors who worked on it, coming back from this period of isolation slowly?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have a wonderful cast of 5 people in this, and 4 of them play dual roles, and one plays the one role the whole time. And they all have just expressed how glad they are to be back and to be doing something, and how they accepted kind of quickly when they said, "Oh, yes, you're doing this? Yeah,
No one had to check their
we're going to
schedules.
be in it." So
Right, yeah.
that's nice. And if I could list the actors, we have Joel Drisang, Christopher Good, Amanda Hall, Alicia Rice, and my other one person is Dennis Lewis, and they are all lovely and just wonderful actors. Joel and Dennis are new to Windfall, and they have just been marvelous to work with. All of them are just great, and I think they have all expressed how much they like the play. I think more so than um, any other group of actors. But I've directed a lot of stuff, and of course
Yeah.
they like their work, but they just have mentioned this all through the process about how much they love the play and how much it means to them. And I think it is, maybe not completely subject matter wise, but just there's an essence of it that speaks to where we are right now, and how
Yeah.
get connecting with each other.
I
And
wonder if we're like ravenously hungry for metaphor in a super broad way, right? Like we're
yeah.
just trying to make sense of what
Hmm.
we've been through, what we continue to go through, and when a piece of literature appears or a cultural object appears, like
Yes.
right, like our brains get in there to make sense of it or find out how it can resonate with what we're experiencing now, so that we don't feel
Hmm.
so lost in the wilderness, right? Like that's such a big part of why we do what we do.
Absolutely. And being able to connect with each other again, in person connection again. That's, I think, is uh, been s- been something that people have been craving, and that we have been craving. And even I had a long talk with an audience member who just kind of lingered uh, last weekend, and was expressing that kind of thing too. That just being able to get out again and go, and how that is become so important. But also there's still that underlying, trepidation sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I would think in a way, particularly with Windfall, because you've been doing what you do so well for so long, right? Like you have a very loyal audience that is deeply
Yeah.
attached to the work that you do, and they've been relying on you to provide that for a long time. I think you slipped in the words 28 years.
Yes.
Did I hear that right?
Yes. Yeah, technically, um, we were shut down during our 27th season. And so then there was a season of hibernation, which was 28. So now technically we're in our 29th season, although nothing much happened in season 28, except sort of, for me, kind of reflection on, where we're going and what we might, continue to do creatively. And so
Yeah.
And that, yeah, it's interesting.
So, I mean, two things are occurring to me simultaneously. One is you could have easily have used that hibernation period to say, this has been a great chapter of my life, and on to law school, or
Oh,
whatever, something completely different. But you have emerged from the pandemic to continue doing your thing. Like how did those conversations in your head go in terms of like getting Windfall through this to this next iteration,
well,
especially with like venue searching and everything?
yeah, it is. First of all, the conversations went a couple ways because I had two things. Well, Hope and Gravity, and then the show we're finally going to get to do in May, um, in the hopper with royalties paid for and all of this jazz, and both of those had been moved down the road, like
Yeah,
4 different times. Um, but I don't know. It's that kind of creative need to
yeah,
be in that, to me, well, being at Village, that's the small space, that's always been kind of just this little crucible of
yeah.
truth and exploration and creativity. And I didn't want to lose that. And I wasn't sure sometimes that we were going to be able to come back, and the fact that we were looking for a new space too. So, but even that's been a kind of a liberating adventure. So,
Oh, I love
yeah.
the way that you talk about things. And I know this is true
Oh,
for Jamie Lynn too. Like for those of us who do work on a very small scale on a regular basis, there are special challenges to dealing with the pandemic because we tend not to have the proximity between artists and between artists and audience, to keep
mhm.
to keep wide margins of social distance in play. I was going to ask you, like, what are the core things, the essential things that make Windfall Windfall? And now I think, like, I wonder if you
Mm.
just told us in mentioning truth, exploration, and creativity in a way. But
Mhm.
like, if you were to just distill Windfall into a few sentences, a few thoughts, or a few words, like how do you define that spirit?
Well, one of the things that this is more prosaic. One of the things that we did when we founded the company was we wanted to make ticket prices affordable. So we kind of do that. We wanted to, in our early days, it was like, we'll keep it on par with a movie ticket, and that was practical. When we still have, I think, pretty reasonable ticket prices. But then the other thing, the more important creative thing, is we've looked for, little known gems by well-known playwrights, and also just like the Hollinger plays, things that are written in um, such a compelling way. I mean, the writing, it's, you got to connect with the writing and the script and things like that. So, but we've done musicals, we've done original works from local playwrights, and we like to seek out little known gems from well known playwrights too. So that's kind of what we've been doing.
You mentioned a piece that you can't tell us about yet because it's in the hopper, perhaps. But
Mhm.
in your thinking and ideation about the future for Windfall and the new space and everything, what are some things that you're looking forward to exploring, or projects that you have on the horizon?
Oh, well, since we were kind of trying to make this, we usually do three kind of main stage things for our season. And for February, I'm noodling around with two different projects. Um, a It'll either be a Noel Coward piece or a Shakespeare. So that's going on with that for February. And then in May, the musical that we've bounced around for a bit, um, Lighten the Piazza.
No way!
Yeah, which is just,
Really?
yeah, yeah. So, um, and we've literally, it's been like two years. We were supposed to close our 2020 season with that, and everything closed up before that, of course. So
that is such a lovely piece for you. Will you talk a little bit about, so since that one's been with you for a long time, kind of trying to do it amidst the pandemic and all of the obstacles, but can you talk a little bit of the spark that led to selecting that, and like, what it means to hopefully finally be programming it?
Oh, it's different. I mean, because it's like it's a little operatic,
Yeah, it is.
and but it also is a very intimate story too. So it has a smallish cast, and a lot of the scenes are two-person scenes. A lot of it, and it's really beautiful. And one of an actress who's in our show now, Amanda Hull, has kind of had that in her, heart to be doing that. So that sort of led us to, let's do it. And it was a strange process, kind of odd to get the rights for it. I had to pay the rights for it November of 2019. Because they had a world tour going on with Renee Fleming and Alex Jennings, and I don't know. Oddly enough, they so you get the rights, and they say you can't do anything with this until they have left and gone to Australia for their thing. So because they had 3 stops they were making, they had been in London and they were coming to Chicago, as if we have anything to do with impacting their their piece, but. So that's been interesting. That was, I think that was the most unusual.
It can be so different for every piece too, figuring that out, negotiating that. Yeah. I love that you're following the impulse of the artist to discover and deliver that programming. I think that's so cool. And it's such a lovely kind of on-brand choice for you to be producing. I really hope I can be there. That sounds gorgeous. Let's before we have to wrap up, tell us once again how to see Hope and Gravity for your final 2 performances.
Well, you can come right on down to it's Redeemer Lutheran Church, and it's on the corner of 19th and Wisconsin, and the entrance to the theater is kind of a far west door that is all ramped. It's just wheelchair ramped, and that'll lead you right into the auditorium. The show is at 7:30, and you can buy tickets at the door and pay with cash or check, or we are also on Eventbrite. And I hope you come and see the show.
Buy all those tickets. Cheryl, it's such a treat to talk with you.
Oh, thank you.
I can't wait to get out myself and see your work this year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And best of luck with the rest of your run. I hope it is a smashing success.
Oh, it's just been lovely to be back. So
tell me.
Yep. Happy about that.
Yep. I know, it's like new goals, new definition of success is just doing it.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of joy in that too. So that's been
so
good.
much. Yeah, truly so much.
All right. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Okay. What do I do now? Do I do anything?
Jamie, who's fixing it? Look, our boxes are moving around.
Oh, I think.
You're muted.
God bless it.
It has to happen at least once, and my cat hasn't even come by yet. So
Monday, there's still time. I was just saying Monday on a Friday. I'm actually just super tired because
Did you fall asleep during our interview?
Did I what?
Did you fall asleep during our interview?
I did. I went back and slept on the couch, and no, my kid is running around. I don't know. My kid is being weird and back in rehearsal, and the husband is doing the roof on the house, and like I'm so shuffling videos, is just par of the course right now. But I'm really glad that we got Carol on because First of all, first timer.
Yeah.
Second of all, yeah, 28, 29 years. That's
She's
I mean,
amazing.
it's just
amazing.
it's really inspiring. First of all, from a small producer standpoint, to have that passion and that drive to do that. I had that thought as you said the thing about you just didn't,
you had the perfect opportunity.
Let's back out.
Asked how she survives and experiences renewal, but then I didn't want to seem too needy.
I mean, yeah, we still had a few minutes. I think you could have made it happen. But yeah, that's just really exciting. So, I mean, just to the big point here is support small local theater. Support small local theater. We and a lot of us do try and keep the cost of tickets low.
Yeah,
and it can leave a big gap of raising funds and all that kind of stuff. Story for another time on another show that I'm still trying to make happen. Anyway, but we do have some other events happening.
Oh, so many things happening.
It's happening. We're trying to do it as as safely as anybody can. Yeah. And I think I saw recent numbers as far as COVID vaccination is concerned, and I thought I saw something about close to 70% in Waukesha County, which I was surprised at. And then Milwaukee was just a little bit behind with, I think, like 64 or something like that. So, we're getting there. It's still it's still not where we as theater producers would like it to be.
But what we need to do.
But so but tonight, this is very important for whoever's out there and listening in the hinterlands. We are launching the Milwaukee chapter of PAL, which is a Parent Artist Advocacy League. This is something that we've been working on for a really long time, and our chief rep moved away, so then we had to switch to a new chief rep and all the things. And so tonight, PAL is going to come and talk to us about what PAL is, why it's important, why every parent and caregiver should get involved in all of those types of things. Let me just read the description that they give is Parent Artist Advocacy League for Arts and Media, PAAL, is a national community resource hub and solutions generator for individuals with caregiver responsibilities and institutions who strive to support them. What that means is, if you are a parent or caregiver, we are trying to get support for you as an artist to be an artist and parent and caregiver at the same time. Just for all of time, it has been that we all needed to especially parents, pretend that we weren't parents. Yeah. And now there's this great movement to acknowledge that you can have both, and that being an artist is who you are in addition to being a parent. And so we want to get this ball rolling. And for just the greatest example that I can come up with is say you're a parent and you want to go to an audition, that there is a drop-in babysitter service at the theater. Like if there's an audition at Sunstone Studios, in one of the rehearsal rooms, there would be a couple of people there to watch your child as you do your 10-minute audition, so that you don't have to scramble and you don't have to pay somebody for like 15 minutes of things. And it's just we all know the struggles. We will talk about that on another program as well. But all you need to do, parent or caregiver, go to PAALtheatre.com events, and then right there is the Milwaukee chapter meetup. Sign for the registration. They will send you the Zoom link, and hopefully we will see you there tonight at 7:30 p.m. But It is an opening night. Da, da, da.
This is why I can't make it to tonight's PAL meeting, but I'll be at the
know.
next thing. I'll be at the next thing.
Okay. Yes, I understand your conundrum, but I'm very excited because Milwaukee Opera Theater is having an opening night tonight, and we talked about that last week.
We did. I won't take up a lot of time, but this is the Decameron Opera Coalition's piece for this season. It's examining American heroism, what it is, what it isn't, what it ought to be, and includes 8 world premieres from indie opera companies across the country, all on film. And Milwaukee Opera Theater's episode is called Home Cooked Heroes, and we worked with the amazing people at Trickle B Cafe on North Avenue to write a spoken word opera about a pay what you can cafe. It's so, so obvious. And it streams. We open tonight. The films are streaming. You can get a ticket online for $15 at MilwaukeeOperaTheater.org. It's good until December 31st.
Yes.
So you can watch the operas every day for 3 months.
Or do what I do and scramble at the last minute.
Yeah. Or wait until December 31st, then watch them all. You can do that too.
I mean, I'm sober now. I don't drink on New Year's. I can watch at 10 something whatever PM. I'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to see the interview about this, you can go to our YouTube and Facebook Live and see the interview last week. I have not had time to post the whole Britt Nicole interview, but that is still coming. I promise you. It just takes this human being a hot second longer to make that stuff happen. So, but yes, go to Milwaukee Opera Theatre.org to do that. Tomorrow night, Pink Umbrella Theater has their fundraising event, Keep the Umbrella Open. Very, very important organization that even if you cannot make it, this is an organization that you should just have plans to donate to all the time, because it's an organization specifically built for artists who identify with a disability, whether that's emotional, mental, physical, genetic, like my kid. And so it's just a wonderful bunch of people. Katie Cummings brings the most amazing open-hearted artists to work with this company. And so go to pinkUmbrellaTheater.org, where you can, I think they're also doing it virtually. So you can do a virtual event, and then you can go in person if you want to go to, what is it? The brewery. I totally forgot to put it down. So that's awesome. But you can go to their website. You can figure it out yourself. Independent.
Mobcraft.
Yes, it is Mobcraft. There you go. It's something with an M. But yeah, always keep Pink Umbrella in your donation plans. Skylight Music Theatre has Full Monty. They opened this last week. I don't even know where we are now. I just don't know where we are now.
They're running.
Super fun, just joyous, funny. Ha-ha! Dun, dun, dun. Cat butt.
Every time.
Had to just pop in. Aurora should be stopping in any second now. Then this is the cue. But go Full Monty. If you don't know, there was a movie back in the 90s about an unlikely band of out of work steel workers who turn their lives around by bearing their butts for the whole community. And so it's interesting to see how they do that for a musical. I myself am trying to get my team of actors together for a team building event to go down the hall and see the Full Monty. And but you can go to skylightmusictheatre.org to get tickets for that. I mean, it's just a good time as far as I understand it. A good time in a different way is Sunstone Studios is hosting Mad Rogues. It's a co-production with Mad Rogues. Toil and Trouble by Lauren Gunderson. Really awesome contemporary playwright, super smart. She was the #1 playwright of
Yeah.
I think 2019. Like right
Like
before
every year, every year.
She just writes really well, and it's really a lot of people can connect to it, and so yay. That is closing tomorrow, so get your butts in there. Sunstone Studios, if you don't know, new venue across the street from Milwaukee Rep on Wells. There used to be the old Off the Wall space, and they've really done a lot over there and are just on fire, really supporting a lot of artists and have so many big plans, and it's awesome and great, and we're glad that they did that. So you can go to Sunstone Studios. Man, sometimes that's hard to say. Sunstone Studios, MKE.com. For that, this is just something that we still need to say. Get vaccinated, please. So I don't know of a theater that's not on board with the policy of you either have to bring your vaccination card or a negative test within 72 hours if you're going to go and sit in a theater space with other humans to watch things. So make sure that before you go and see any of these shows that you check people's COVID policy before you do that. But really, I say this. If I can get an off the boat Polish guy to get vaccinated, anybody can make it happen. Don't tell him I told you that. Don't tell him
So if you have a relative who's giving you trouble, just like send Jamie Lynn to them.
Just say, yeah. Just call me up and I will tell the whole story of how I got Leszek to make it happen. So, yes. My last thing is always Imagine MKE. It offers us this awesome production platform to do this show, and I'm so grateful to them. But I'm just grateful for the work that they're doing in general. We just had a small arts and culture meeting yesterday that Joanna led because there's a lot of things happening right now. It feels like a very special moment to me that there just seems to be a lot of people with a lot of minds in the right space of community versus, sort of the scarcity and scraping for everybody's piece of the pie, that we're all sort of looking at each other going, if we all get together and we all scream together, maybe we can get a huge piece of the pie together, and then we can split stuff equitably. But Imagine is a big facilitator of that. They also have ways for you to get in touch with your representatives to tell them how important the arts are in your life, and you need to do that. Wisconsin is 49th in state funding, in public funding for the arts.
Don't they know?
Yes. So you can go to imaginemke.org/act and make that happen. I just beg you to make that happen. I also need to show my shirts.
I love it. I noticed it right away.
Yes. You can go to MilwaukeeTheaterAlliance.org and get your own shirt. And if you are a Theater Alliance company, you can also go and get it specialized for your own company, because we're nerds.
Congrats on this way.
I'm proudly a theater nerd. I will never say otherwise. So tons of stuff happening. Just one last ask. If you have local music, please send it to me, because I would like to feature it on this program and other programs we have planned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for hosting, Joanna.
Thanks for running the internet.
Running the internet. I own the interspace.
Oh, it's another Friday.
I like this. I just nerd out. I just deet, behind the scenes and click on the clicky clicks. And, if you think too hard about how the internet works, then I start having a brain meltdown.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it's scary. Yeah.
If you're clicking things in and then it goes there and then it's on the interspheres for all of time. Yeah. And that's just weird. Thanks, Al Gore. Anyway.
Before we get too surreal, we should
anyway
we should wrap up the show.
Yeah, I just like to drop those little Easter eggs and people can go down the internet. Why did she say Al Gore about internet? Google it. Just Google it. So I'm talking to Skylight actually right now, but maybe coming on next week and talking about Full Monty because they can do it better than we can. So hopefully Carol will be back next week hosting that. If not, we'll find somebody's game in the MTA to host and talk. Yeah. So go see a show. We are back. There's tons of stuff. Go to
in person and online
and watch some awesome new work. That's something that I love the most about the MOT, Decameron Opera Coalition things, that all the new, just fantastic innovation that you all are doing over there. It's so good.
Thanks, Jamie Lynn.
Anyway.
All right.
Tell your friends. Watch the show. We're live. Like, you can sit in the thing like Tori did, and you can talk to us and ask questions and, and engage and be nerds right with us. So see you next week on You've Got a thing.